Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness, the Demon venue. We start our scene near the Greater Manhattan Courthouse. In an area where an outdoor patio type situation for those enjoying coffee and then lunch can be had. There's a fair number of people around in business suits as it's so close to the courthouse. But there's also the more casual attired individuals walking about or sitting down and having a bite to eat. We start our scene with two members of the court having a little bit of a discussion.
So Samson is going to walk up to the barista and ask for a caramel apple spice. And then this happens.
Oh God.
Don't mind me yet, that's just in preparation.
Okay. And he's going to look at her funny. And kind of just stand there and then she's going to like awkwardly look at him. And then there's going to be 2 minutes of this, and then he's just going to move down to the side. Apparently, he's not supposed to be standing here. And he's going to wait for Daniel.
Daniel, for his part, is order a normal coffee from the Starbucks. It's like, yeah, no, all right, thank you. I was just gonna, would you like something? Or have you already ordered?
I think I did it right. As he kind of looks at, I gave her money.
Did you order anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Right? Right. Good.
What did you order?
Caramel apple spice. As he kind of points to the sign. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
$5.
Excellent. Another coffee. Thank you. Here you go. He's gonna hand you a thing.
Okay. As he looks at him and in a kind of a hushed tone, does this get easier?
It will. Take take some getting used to.
As he kind of just shivers a bit and starts cracking his neck until everyone turns around. It's just like,
Do you need a massage?
oh, I'm fine. It's a thing.
All right.
As they go to make their way to a table, if they want to roll a perception and awareness.
It's alertness for the sensory ability, but sure.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is. It's different with the demons.
Yeah. You roll awareness to pinpoint what sort of power it was.
It's been months since I played Demon.
Yay!
Successes! Yay, good dice rolls! You do feel a sudden ping nearby where you're standing, near closer towards the steps of the courthouse, as somebody, as a sort of radiance of faith, begins to build up in the area before being made manifest.
And Samson will audibly shiver and like, oh, okay, what's that?
That Somebody's being very careless.
As he kind of just starts like kind of twitching a bit. I don't like that. Like,
Don't worry. Don't worry. Blink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an awareness roll.
all right.
With 5 successes, you can literally see somebody standing there, sort of berating somebody.
Somewhere over there, I think. Not too sure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause he kind of just points into the crowd. Like,
And of course, this is a point where you lose the Vinny.
as he looks.
Daniel's gonna pinch the bridge of his nose. You see what we were talking about when we mentioned be careful?
So how are you careful, assuming we are both walking towards Ping? Like, is there a way you can hide that?
Don't use it. Don't use it. I'll not say don't use it. It's more like everything in this. Okay, hold on. Over there, something happened. There. Oh, wait, we're close to Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have the ability to sense just about everything, and kind of bumps his head. That is being very obvious about it.
Okay, that was weird.
That was weird.
Did you guys get booted too?
No.
It's just me. Okay,
Mhm.
fair enough. All right, Hangouts. I see what you're doing. It's okay. I see that the demon that is Morgan Deladryer is just too much for you.
Oh, you little punk.
That's what happens when you use Tilda Swinton. You know, she's just too much. Okay, so anyways, you see somebody with very striking features standing there, sort of berating a mousy-looking woman, also dressed, or one who's dressed in sort of a business skirt and business top and blouse, holding an armful of files. This person isn't speaking loudly, like shouting, but whoever it is, the pinpoint that you got on her, you can definitely get the sense of what this person is, at least on some bases that, while not beyond the scope of normal human beauty, um, definitely pinging as at the upper echelons of it.
As Samson looks to Daniel, I think we found her.
We
Yeah.
did.
Not too sure what I'm looking at.
Well, human bodies, human genders. Let's see and wait what happens.
Yeah.
And the individual sort of points at a few of the folders and then hands over a packet of papers and continues to say something before the woman standing in front of this individual nods, lowers her head and takes the packet and puts it into the folder and walks back towards the courthouse. This individual then seems to almost instinctively or reflexively just kind of lose a slight edge of that sort of allure about them.
Samson will look to Daniel, and then he's going to approach her. Him.
And the individual just runs the fingers back through the hair, and then as Samson approaches, there's a brief pause as the eyes still look slightly flustered. These almost nearly gold, glowing emerald eyes. Can I help you?
Samson kind of shivers and um, you did a thing.
I did a what?
You did a thing. I don't know
And
what you did, but I felt it.
the individual seems to take a slightly defensive stance, one arm curling behind the back. The other one's sort of held at the side very rigidly as their features become very erect and very upfront.
He will kind of cock his head. Strange.
Daniel Firstbart is going to pinch the bridge of his nose. This is perception alertness roll.
There's nothing more going on supernatural.
Oh, no. This was just to hear what was said, since I didn't want to assume that I automatically hear things.
Oh, with 3 successes, whatever this individual was berating the young woman about, it seemed to be on making them look rather foolish in open court with ill-prepared documents.
Oh no, this wasn't about the conversation that she had
Oh,
with the woman. This is the conversation that Samson is having with Morgan.
okay.
Yeah.
So Morgan looks at Samson, runs a tongue out over across the lips. I don't know who you are, but I would recommend that you turn around and walk the other way.
Hmm.
Grabs the coffee, grabs Samson's coffee, walks towards the 2 individuals. Forgot your coffee, as he hands it to Samson.
As he looks at the coffee, then looks at him. She isn't nice.
Looks around. Open space. People. Not now. Looks at Morgan. Hi.
There's a very aloof look that comes over Morgan's face.
How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Pleasant. See, I was wondering, could I ask you something?
It depends on the nature of what you want to ask.
The nature of the question is celestial.
Eyes narrow direly.
So, shall we take this conversation somewhere not public? As she's gonna start walking outside.
That would be a good idea, I think. And Morgan will turn to follow Daniel. Each step seems to be very calculated and deliberate.
Daniel really doesn't care how he walks. Do 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 do.
So it's a very stark contrast then. And however, Anthony's character, whose name I still haven't learned completely yet.
He looks, kind of smiles, and just starts walking next to Daniel. I think he froze.
No, he didn't. He's right there.
Uh.
He's got a stare yelling at him, I think.
So after the little walk, we enter someplace, somewhere, maybe a bench or something. Or they're gonna sit on a bench, and he's gonna sit down, sip another coffee. Ooh, hot. So, hi.
Morgan will interlace fingers just behind the small of the back and just sort of give Daniel the ever-present look of just a cold and just completely indifferent look, at least for now.
Oh. So, let's start this off by introductions. My name is Daniel.
I'm Samson.
I see. And Daniel and Samson, what is exactly that you wish to speak to me about?
Well, first, I'd like to know a name. It's, of course, very rude to call somebody by just you or hey.
I go by Deladryer. ADA Deladryer.
ADA Deladryer. My! A real ADA. It's an honor to meet you. Now, you were a bit obvious there.
Like I said before, you did the thing.
Of course, that's no problem. I mean, hell, if you're a bit sharp in the city, you'll feel a thing coming from just about every. Oh, there goes another one, and there, and there. See what I mean? But yours, you feel very specific.
Go on. Continue speaking.
Oh, well, I was just about done. Actually, no. How long have you been here?
I suppose that's my business, isn't it now?
More shifty.
Well, it depends on what the court thinks about that. And I'm not talking about your court or a human court.
If you're here to try and strong-arm me into something,
I'm
suggest
paranoid.
you be upfront about it now.
Alright, I'll be very upfront. I'm paranoid as shit. I've had enough shit to deal with all of these random fuckers coming in and just claiming things. What I want to know is when you came here and what you're doing here, and if you're planning on causing trouble, yes or no.
Morgan,
And excuse me if I'm coming off a bit rude, but I've tried being nice to multiple individuals and that didn't work.
Morgan's going to lean forward slightly, and a very cold expression comes across their features, and Morgan will take a very cold tone. And I'm going to roll manipulation and intimidation. And just want to make sure a little something. That doesn't apply, but this does. So it'll be difficulty 5. Dice stream loading up. I don't think convincing is really going to be a thing here. So 3 successes. I want you to watch your tone, boy.
I think I'm good at my willpower check.
Say it so you are.
And hold on, I'm gonna roll a thing.
Going to pull out his knife.
No, that
You're going to do what?
that's not necessary. I just rolled for faith, activating one of my lower APOC forms.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna do manipulation, intimidation myself. And I'm gonna spend a willpower point.
God.
Yeah, I held off on the last one. Not that it would have done any good, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As with voice of the damned, he says, "I'll take a very strong tone." As it says, if 1,000 dead are whispering in the most horrified voice you'll ever hear.
willpower.
You can roll it.
Difficulty?
6.
Okay, this is just asking a specific lore. Usually they have different counters for it.
Well, it's not lore, it's a straight up manipulation intimidation roll. With voice of the damned.
1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 successes on me. Not gonna quite panic at that, but definitely gonna take a step back as, oh, okay, it's like that. However, upon seeing, and actually I'll roll perception and alertness for that one, unless you're brazenly holding it out, Samson.
Perception alertness.
Okay.
Fucking hell. 1 second, guys.
Do 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 phenomena. Do 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 do
Phenomenal.
do 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 do.
Do-do.
Charging my attack. 3 successes.
Yeah, you see him pull out something.
Oh dear. Oh dear. The devil is not happy, now being ganged up on. Okay. Alright, so this is the situation that Morgan has in front of, or Morgan has to deal with. One guy who's coming off is very, very intimidating, or at least mildly intimidating, more so than Morgan first realized.
Mhm.
And the other guy has pulled a knife. So, I think I am first going to roll faith for the lordly mane once again.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy.
And manages to pull that back up. So again, looking very regal. Those features become a little bit more porcelain, and the eyes just seem to have more of a luster to them. And then, why? Why did it have to go this way? Why do I have to play a character who's a dick?
Why, Vinny? Why do you do this to yourself?
Because I'm silly sometimes. Do we have to make separate rolls to bring up each of the APOC forms?
No, you roll 1 time, and then you can choose the specific forms you want.
If I want to bring up 2.
Oh, yeah, that you roll once for the 2.
Yeah.
So,
If I'm going to bring up the second one. Yes. So, going to activate Lordly Mane and Inhuman Allure. So suddenly starting to look a little bit more angelic now, not quite pulling out the glow rods just yet, but you definitely see Morgan take on more of an appearance of something that anybody with a bit of legacy might key in on.
Benson like raises an eyebrow and then he looks directly at Daniel. Are we gonna have a problem?
put the knife away.
Charging my attack. And Morgan just looks at the two of them. If you're going to jump me, do it now, and make sure you hit me as hard as you can. Because you won't get back up. That much I promise you.
My. See,
and I'm going to roll...
Mistake here. Samson, can you put the knife away?
I put the knife away.
Listen. Oh, shit.
Beautiful background for you. So she's gonna look at Samson.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's going to look at Samson, still getting used to the pronoun game.
Mm-hmm. Little confused. He's not sure.
I know. It's not easy when you're not used to it. But Morgan will look at Samson and is he gone?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We'll look at Samson, and I guess we'll just reiterate what
Mm-hmm.
what was said. Just more, we'll say it was directed more at Samson. So yeah, if you plan to strike me, do it now. Do it quick and do it as hard as you are able, because if I get a chance to strike back at you, you will not get back up.
Samson will look at her and put the knife away. I have an issue the way you talk to my associates.
And I have an issue with being approached and suddenly prodded with 20 questions.
It's the fact that your displays were, how should we say, sloppy. We were able to pick up on you. And no, you're not the only one here. We're not trying to attract attention.
So things are slightly different here. I hadn't expected to run into my own kind so soon.
I don't
Perhaps
deal well with human emotions. But yeah. That's the closest thing of a sorry you'll get from me.
There's a certain look of contemplation that comes over Morgan's features, and after a moment, the expression softens just slightly. So then there's an established court here.
I met the tyrant yesterday. I crawled out the pit the day before.
So you are new.
It's awkward.
Depends on how well you take to human skin, isn't it?
A bit.
I suppose I should meet this tyrant. Do they have a name?
She calls herself Lily Tsukuna, I believe.
Lily Sakuna.
She is a sixth house, I believe.
6. Interesting choice for a tyrant. And you?
Fifth house, malefactor.
I see. I'm a member of the Namaru.
Defiler?
House of the Rising Sun.
Uh,
The first house.
a devil.
Yes.
Hmm. Now it makes a little bit more sense. Okay.
We came very close to having... Never mind.
I'm more than able to take care of myself. It kind of gives a slight chuckle.
Most are, but the power of the, or the abilities of the first house, I should say, they bestow certain gifts upon us.
Don't talk to me like I'm a child. That would be a bad idea.
The brow is again raised. Oh.
With that, Samson will give her a knowing glance. At any rate, it would be in your best interest to seek her out so she doesn't have to find you. And you would do well to be careful about what kind of attention you attract.
I see.
With that, Samson will kind of pat Daniel on the shoulder, take a sip of his coffee. Is there anything you want me to pass on to the tyrant?
Simply tell her that a member of the first house will be visiting soon enough.
Samson will give her a raised eyebrow, and him and Daniel will walk off.
Morgan will change or drop the apocalyptic traits. Making a mental note that perhaps making sure that certain old habits from the past don't creep back into everyday mannerisms, which the devil has had a difficult time of controlling and reining in. And simply walks back towards the courthouse to go to get a bit of lunch in the local cafeteria. And we can end our scene.